guys, this is Drew Carlos. On today's video, I'm going to give you my review of episode 14 of season 1 of the Big Bang Theory. Corn Rocket Girl and the broken nerd timeline. So here we go, guys. I love this episode because it involves all four of our favorite nerds: Leonard, Sheldon, Howard, and Raj. But mostly Leonard. But then it gets everyone involved. This episode is one of my underrated favorite episodes of season 1. Underrated. It's not even. It's close to my top 10 underrated episodes of the season. But this one, it gets close to that top 10. But it didn't quite make it. But it's almost there. It's almost there. So here we go, guys. This episode begins with Leonard browsing the internet, and he finds a carbon copy or a replica of a time machine from the original movie, from the 1960s movie of the same name. Not the movie Time Machine, not the reboot version, or not the reboot movie that we saw in 2001. I think, guys, you can check me on that. But anyway, Leonard gets the opportunity to buy the replica of a time machine from the movie Time Machine of the 1960s. But Leonard is like, no, there's no way. There's no way. So Howard says, don't worry, Leonard. People, you won't be able to get it because there will be snipers. The snipers are buyers that buy stuff that bid as well, but they eventually buy. Once it takes one sniper to buy that item from you. But in a sad, funny tragedy for Leonard, no sniper was able to buy him out. So Leonard is the proud owner of a time machine. But according to the picture of the replica, it's a good size. It's not too big. It's not too big of a time machine. But when it gets delivered, the time machine is a lot bigger than the picture, than the pre-picture. So Howard, Raj, and Leonard and Sheldon are very surprised that the time machine is a lot bigger than they thought. And since they don't know how to get it up the stairs, Howard suggests, why don't we use the elevator? But here's the problem: the elevator of the apartment complex. Of the apartment complex that Sheldon and Leonard live is out of order. It's been out of order since the beginning of season 1. Now, just to give you a little bit of a preview for a later season, there's a backstory to how the elevator got broken or broke down. that's in at a later season. So that's my only preview. That's only my preview. That's my look ahead preview for the seasons to come. So anyway, the elevator's down. So so the only option is that basically Sheldon and Leonard and Howard and Rod have to somehow carry it, have to pull it up the stairs or carry the time machine. So in the front of the time machine, the people that are in the front of the time machine are and pulling it up the stairs are Sheldon and Leonard. Meanwhile, in the backside of the time machine, the people that are pushing or pulling the time machine up the stairs are Rod and Howard. Eventually, the guys managed to almost pull it up, but here's the kicker. Guys. Penny is late for work. And apparently she's running pretty quickly, running very, very late. And since the guys are pulling up the time machine up the stairs, Penny can't go down the stairs, can't go down to the lobby and down and get out, get out of the front door of the building. So Sheldon in his wise mind says to Penny, here's an option. Okay, climb up to the roof, to the fire escape. Then there's a little gap. There's a little tiny gap. You will have to jump that tiny gap to get to the other side of the building of our neighboring building, and don't look down because there's a little gap. That little gap has, don't look down at that little gap. So if you're vertically challenged, or if you tend to have vertigo, don't look down. So Penny does that. But tragically for Penny, her boss, or the manager at the Cheesecake Factory, gave Penny shift to another coworker of hers, and just for the heck of it, she was invited. She was cordially awkwardly invited to a very nice Armenian lunch, and she had eight courses of lamb, 8 pieces of lamb. And of course this was before she told the guys that the manager at the Cheesecake Factory gave her work shift to another coworker of hers, and she blamed of course the time machine. And she said that that looks like like a boat that you would go on and have a joyride in the panhandle or in the murky waters of Florida of Florida. And then of course after that amazing heated response from Penny, Leonard felt bad for Penny, but mostly hurt. It basically hurt his nerd feelings. Well, scratch that. I should say his feelings and his nerdom. So Leonard pondered and thought about what Penny had said. But before pondering and thinking about what Penny had said to him and to the rest of the guys, the guys were able to finally get the time machine into Sheldon's and Leonard's apartment, and the time machine itself looks very cool. If you guys have seen the episode like me, you know what I'm talking about. But here's the cool thing and the funny thing, that Sheldon wanted to go and see how Alexander Graham Bell, the father of the telephone, invented the telephone. Meanwhile, everyone wanted to see Alexander Graham Bell invent the telephone. But Sheldon was like, if we all decide to go to Alexander Graham Bell's house and see how he invented the telephone, he will know something's up. His house will be crowded. So the guys, Sheldon gave this idea to Leonard, who was the first one to, since he was the one that purchased the time machine. Sheldon gave the idea to Leonard, that why don't you go to the pre-Federation records of Star Trek, meaning go to a year of Star Trek, and that's exactly what Leonard did. What Leonard did. And guys, let me tell you, the transition that Sheldon and Howard and Raj did to fast forward fast forward themselves and go back in time was pretty funny and pretty innovative, in my opinion. So after turning on and traveling to that year in Star Trek that I just told you about, Leonard was like, awesome. And then later that night, just like I said before, Leonard started to think about what Penny had said to him, and hurt his nerdy ego and nerdy feelings. plus his actual feelings. And then Sheldon and his and and speaking and to be more specific about Sheldon, in this episode he was able to pick up stuff that he's not normally able to pick up, like the need for the need of Leonard wanting to talk about what happened with Penny, and Sheldon actually said, "I'm on fire tonight," but and then Leonard then Leonard then Leonard then Leonard was like to Sheldon, maybe I shouldn't have bought. Maybe I should have not. Maybe I should go back in time and just not been hypnotized or captivated by this time machine. But then Sheldon said that wouldn't have changed anything. Penny would still not be attracted to you, even if you were able to do that. Second, this is not Back to the Future. Your failure of enchanting Penny with love, with your level of love, has failed. What do you think? Your failure will. You're still going to fail if you go back in time, preceding you, or before you bought this thing, even before you bought this thing that we love. Now get out, Leonard. It's my turn. But then Sheldon would get two nightmares involving the time machine. And to be more specific, these two nightmares would involve the time machine that Leonard bought and stuff from the movie Time Machine, from the original movie, not the reboot of 2001. So there's two types of cohabitators in the original movie Time Machine. The Eloi, which are us, and the Morlocks. According to Sheldon's dream, they're blue. They have a blue face with yellow glowing eyes and white hair. Now, again, I don't know how the Morlocks looked in the original Time Machine movies of the 1960s. I believe, but I don't know since it's in black and white movie. I think I don't know what the actual color is, but according to Sheldon's dream, the Morlocks are blue face, yellowed eye, glowing eye, and with white hair. And the Morlocks eat the Eloi. In this case, the Eloi in his dream is Sheldon. And the Morlocks eat him alive in the dream. Meanwhile, back to current times, or back to present time, meaning back to current times, Leonard is so down that he decides to sleep. Obviously, he decided Uh, obviously, he decided this to to think about this in bed, but eventually, Leonard decided to donate or sell or have a type of nerdy garage sale and sell his nerdy toys at the comic book store. And Sheldon is like, and Sheldon's like, and Sheldon is like, Leonard, what are you doing? What are you doing? And Leonard is like, no. Leonard's like, Sheldon, I'm going to sell my stuff. And then Howard and Rod are like the same. They say the same. They say the same thing as Sheldon, and Leonard said the same thing to them. And then Howard says, "No, how are you going to say no? You have a wonderful collection. This is like nerdvana, like a nerdy teen spirit. No, but after a while of asking him why are you doing this, Leonard says to Rod and Howard, okay, I didn't want to do this, but fine. I have a Geordie LaForge in good condition action figure, which I haven't opened it, but I'm starting to open it. If you don't let me through, to go downstairs and go out the door and go to the comic book store and do my garage sale. And Howard's like, okay, we're cool. Calm down. Don't do anything crazy. Calm down. We're all friends here. Then Penny appears. And then Sheldon says, if it wasn't for you or for what you said to Leonard and to all of us in general, but mostly Leonard, that was mostly affected by what you said, he wouldn't be selling his soul and becoming a total different person. Penny, and I bet you, Penny, that you have in your apartment, Care Bears, maybe a strawberry shortcake dolls, and other stuff, and other girly stuff that you love. And who is that I see in your pajamas? Oh, it's Arigato, Hello Kitty. And then after this wonderful defending speech, defending argument from Sheldon about and defending Leonard at the same time, Penny's like, okay, I see what's going on. I see what's going on, and then Penny says to Leonard, I'm sorry. You don't have to sell your stuff, your nerdy stuff that makes you you. I was just frustrated in a hurry because I was going to be late. And sorry that I said that because I was frustrated. Because I was very frustrated at myself of being late and Leonard and the way that Leonard was able to snap out of of the nerdy grief feeling that he was feeling is that a guy a guy a guy a guy you know a guy that Penny was interested came or no was coming through, was what basically came into Penny's apartment, and then it was all good. The situation was good. And then after seeing this guy coming into Penny's apartment with her smiling at this guy, Leonard was okay. So he snapped out of it, and everything was, and he put everything back in its place inside the apartment. So with that being said, guys, that's how this wonderful and timely, nerdy episode of The Big Bang Theory ends. With that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Remember to leave a like and let me know in the comment section if you want, in the comments if you want. What would you do if you had your own replica of any type of time machine? And what would you do if the person or the girl that you like or the guy that you like said to you, and if you were a nerd, if it wasn't for your stuff, your nerdy stuff, I would have been on time. I would have been on time to my job. And guys and girls, what if that person was like Penny and said what she said to Penny too? How would you feel? Would you have done what Leonard was about to do? Have a nerdy garage sale at your local comic book store? So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Remember to leave a like, and until we nerd again, bye.